welcome to the first edition of the show for the week. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
And I'm Cecilia Mogbe, and of course we're starting with the National Sport Festival. Delta State expectedly, they've been declared champions for like 4 or 5 days ago, but then official, of course, they won the National Sport Festival.
Yeah, at the end of the 19th National Sports Festival, Team Delta are the champions. Of course, we talked about the aftermath. Edo State has won the hosting rights for the next edition of the National Sports Festival that's going to be held in 2020. Edo State have won the hosting rights. They say they are ready. We'll see what happens with that one. A very jubilous Edo State's contingent yesterday after everything was made official. All right, so let's leave the sports festival for a while and go to England and talk about Liverpool. That team is still unbeaten, and of course Xherdan Shaqiri got 2 goals, and of course they were able to edge past. Not even an edge pass, they were able to convincingly beat Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. And on the strength of that, Jurgen Klopp's boys are still unbeaten in the English Premier League. Cecilia.
Yeah, absolutely the only team that remains unbeaten there. Arsenal lost theirs, earlier before Liverpool, had to maintain that record. And what a good way to do it against Manchester United. And right now, Manchester United more like 19 points behind Liverpool in the league table. But then that's not where we're starting from this morning. We're starting with the National Sport Festival. The record set from Delta to Rivers to Edo to Akwa Ibom to Lagos and of course the Abuja FCT. All the states coming out to perform, to tell everyone that look, we're ready and raring to go. So 2020 is going to be another spectacular one, waiting for Edo State, who have won the hosting rights, to see how they can really put everything they have together to ensure that they will have a very good one. Because a lot of hitches and complaints coming from Abuja. Yeah. But then Edo State have said, okay, theirs is going to be remarkable and it's going to be one of the best. Remember the last time they hosted was actually in 1981. That's a long, long time ago. Yeah, and
there's a lot to talk about on the National Sports Festival. Let's just get straight into the art of the matter this morning. The Sports Festival just ended in Abuja. There's a whole lot, and maybe for a week down the line, we'll still be talking about the revelations, the aftermath, and all the other good things. And like you said earlier, I mean, it's no longer news. Delta is a worst-kept secret. We knew at some point they were just blowing everyone away. So we knew. But the curtains fell yesterday, signaling the end of our own mini Olympics, so to say. And of course, the good thing, and you see some of the
Rivers.
I mean, they enjoyed themselves. Rivers finished second at the end of the day. That they were in no way close to Delta, but of course on the medal table they were second. And so everything ends in Abuja. And Cecilia, let's also quickly say one thing that gladdens my heart is the fact that we're leaving Abuja. We know where we are going in 2020, and the state that wants to host in 2020 say they've been ready even before they were officially announced as the host. And if you look at what is a global trend now, what is a lot of countries pulling away, not wanting because of the cost implication, to now have a state willing to grab the bull by the horn and bailing us out
and do it
and not letting us have another 6 years is good. And these celebrations,
from
good dance steps, Delta. I don't know what's wrong.
We'll expect this. Just take a look at the fact that, okay, first of all, you're dancing for the fact that you won it overall in a convincing manner. I mean, just dusting everyone. And another thing is, there's a 1 million naira waiting for each gold that you've won. Now, just look at some athletes that have won up to 7 medals. Some athletes who've won up to 3, 4 gold medals. The 16-year-old girl, the swimmer who won as much as 7 medals. I mean,
4 gold, 4 million. It's going to be interesting to see because we watched live on TV when the governor made that promise. And I know we're going to see the medals table later. But from what we gather, we have Over 160. So you might have, I don't know, but we'll wait to see. But the other states there,
the northern states, the parade from Jigawa, Benue, Borno, and of course, Yobe states, all of them must, joining the party. They may not have, just take a look at this one. They may not have won the sports festival or even coming in top 10. But the fact that they were able to compete,
the joy of participation.
The joy of participation is all about friendship. It's all about, national unity and all that. I think we shouldn't take that away from the sport festival. The main reason, the core values of it is for that unity.
Yeah, integration.
For integration, yes. For friendship, especially when you have, unrest and all that going on in some parts of the country.
Things.
So with this, when you organize this every two years,
good.
That's, how do I put it now? That's tension, that happens amongst some states, neighboring states and all that, will definitely be all of it. That's the key one. That's the major one. Then before we talk about the sport development and all that.
It's not out of place. This is very good. And, talk about social, the integration. Absolutely. We need to have things that bring us all together.
And this is one of it. And of course, the parade you're still watching, from Akwa Ibom State. That's the state we talked about. Okay, they got most of the elite athletes. How many?
You were always going to say that.
But then they got some because we know the names of those ones they got. But then they also tried to.
Some other states did it too.
And that's why they are.
Some other states did it, but because
they have no names.
Yes.
Precisely. Delta State, come on now. We know most of the athletes. Okay. All right. Now, you know what? Let's start from Edo State. First of all, how excited they are. And all hosting the sport festivals after so many years. We hear from the sports minister talking about that.
Presentation of the flag for the next host. 2020. After a thorough evaluation of their respective plans for the hosting of the games and considering other variables, Edo State is hereby awarded the hosting rights for the 20th National Sports Festival to be held in 2020. While congratulating Edo State for winning the hosting rights, I sincerely thank the people and the government of Delta, Cross River, and Imo States for their interest in hosting the festival. It is our hope that the yearnings of these states will be acceded to in due course. I urge the government of Edo State to put all machineries in motion to ensure a seamless 20th National Sports Festival, including the immediate setting up of local organizing committee, LOC. The ministry remains to provide the logistic and technical support for a successful hosting.
It is with humility and delight that I accept to host the 20th edition of the National Sports Festival in the year 2020 in Benin City. I want to thank the organizing committee for this decision and to assure them that we have the capacity and the capability to host the games.
They've got what it takes to actually host the games. That's what the governor is talking about. Remember ECO 2012, immediately after Lagos hosted. And, of course, the baton was passed to Cross River State, and they assured us that, yes, we're going to host it. 6 years after, we ended up hosting the sport festival in Abuja. So we don't want to see a repeat of that. And from what the state governor has said, that they've been ready for this for a long time. And hopefully 2020, everyone will be in Edo State for the National Sports Festival. And of course, we just surpassed what we saw in Abuja. Government money and of course private sector were involved in that. This one, I mean federal level, but this one's going to be state level, and of course private partnership will be involved in this one. Now let's talk about the states that actually won. They put so much in it to get what they wanted. I spoke to Solomon Ogba some time ago talking about the former president of Athletics Federation of Nigeria and also, you know, second vice president of Olympics, National Olympics Committee. He talked about the fact that they built a structure over the years. What they have now, it's not something they started like during Governor Okowa's time. It's something that they've built an institution, and that is actually helping them to churn out, you know, young athletes and all that. And of course, in many years to come, you still see these athletes and even new ones coming up to also win for them. So
I think it's a model that everybody should copy. Shortly, we're going to see pictures. Team Delta celebrating the moment they were announced as winners. We're going to see that shortly. But you know, just to piggyback on what you said, Delta State, and that's the moment right there on screen. Delta State doing all the right things. And it didn't just start from now. It's something that is a template that I think all the other states should, you know, follow and copy. And, you know, although when you copy and paste correctly, but I hope they do. And I hope Team Delta, to being the states to beat, will not rest on their laurels and keep you know, moving on. This is the moment, like we said, jubilation, a lot of shouts, dancing, and everything. A proud moment for all the people that were involved in the success story of Team Delta. I'm very sure when you realize that Team Delta has won, and the number of the hall of medals, you want to listen to one person, and that's the governor, His Excellency Ifeanyi Okowa, the governor of Delta State, who made that promise before the athletes left. You would want to hear what he has to say, knowing that he might have to cough out millions and millions. But let's listen to the governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, this morning. Very proud governor, you know, talking about the achievement of Team Delta at the National Sports Festival.
We are quite encouraged to even give more, because what we're going to give to them, they are going to feel encouraged. They are going to be able to help their studies. They are going to be able to get more equipment. They are going to be able to settle their families so that they are not troubled. They are able to give in their best as they move forward. It's always necessary to encourage an athlete who is doing well. It's actually very important to give attention to sports at the grassroots. That's where many of the states and our nation, Nigeria, where we are getting it wrong. We believe that it's very important. Right from the primary schools, we must guide them young, ensure that we are able to identify the budding athletes and begin to groom them. And that is exactly what we are doing in Delta State. We have the Headmasters' Cup competition going on. We have the Principals' Cup competition going on. The Headmasters' Cup is for the primary schools. The Principals' Cup is for secondary schools. And we begin to develop them into greater sports as they move on. And once you have identified the talents at the early age, you begin to put your eye on that person. And that person at the appropriate time will definitely come in to win gold at the sports festival. And we are also insisting that every primary or secondary school that is private or public must have sporting facilities before we can give approval to such primary or secondary schools. Because you cannot just go to the school to learn without being physically fit, without engaging yourself in sports activities. It's not right. And I think that that's a way of truly trying to encourage every school. And every school must compulsorily host the school inter-house sports at the end of every year. It is compulsory.